What's going on, guys? Today we are actually going to be going over a drone Zane build. Now you guys hear drone Zane build, and a lot of you guys are like, hey, I use the drone, I use Sentinel Cryo, but no, we are going to be using the drone to kill everything, including Wotan. Zane's drone can actually do a ton of damage, and I have been neglecting it, and I will admit that, but I tested with it the other day, and I actually found a ton of bonuses that get applied to it that I never expected to get applied to it. So of course, today I have a build for you guys, and I have a showcase just to show how strong the drone is, but mainly what this video about is going over the drone's damage formula and how to min-max it. If you don't care about the math and you just want to know what gear we use, just skip ahead, that's fine. But first, we are gonna go over that math. Now real quick though, before we hop into the video, please drop a like on this video if you enjoy this content, and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 videos. Guys, we're almost at 30,000 subscribers. We are only 500 away now. If you guys wanna help me reach my goal for free, I would so much appreciate you. And with that being said, let's hop straight into it. So let me pull up the notepad of wisdom and let's go over the drone's damage. Now, I basically just tested the drone with a bunch of stuff, and I found a bunch of stuff that can get applied to it. So let's just go straight over it. I want to keep this kind of quick. So basically you have the base damage times the mayhem scaling times action skill damage times V1 times V2 times elemental bonuses times splash. Now splash only works when you're using the boomsday augment, but if you want to do damage with the drone, you want to use the boomsday augment. Times Harmageddon times debuffs times the 0.M circle. And we will be using the 0.M circle in this build. Now, also keep in mind, I tried multiple different iterations of this build. So the final one we came to is really the one I recommend, or, you know, some slight variation on it. And yeah, now one other thing we have to go over is bonus elements. The drone actually does get all bonus elements, but a couple of them work different than others, and I'm gonna explain that in a second. You already see how URED and Trick of the Light have mayhem scaling tied onto it. Basically, what I want to talk about is the grenade and shield bonus elements. These deal bonus damage as if your drone was on Mayhem 0. So you know how the drone does more damage on Mayhem 10 than it does on Mayhem 0? That's because it gets mayhem scaling. But the grenade and shield bonus elements basically do not. It's a super weird thing, and for some reason they just don't get mayhem scaling on action skills. The same goes for Flax Racks. Those bonus, the nade and shield bonus elements, when you apply them to action skills, they do not get mayhem scaling. So these are pretty much useless for this build. Mainly, we're gonna be using Trick of the Light. Now, I do want to point out that URED is actually a good option, probably for bossing. You really don't want to use this augment for mobbing, because when you're below 50% HP, you just go down so much. And another thing about Trick of the Light is that it actually is always on with the drone. I literally had, when I was testing this, I literally had enemies looking at me and shooting at me, and the drone was still getting Trick of the Light. So this is a very good option when it comes to the drone. Now, one other thing I want to point out, you guys notice here, is bonus elements do not get splash bonuses. So on Boomsday, if you're using like a class mod and an artifact with splash on it, those will not apply to your bonus elements. And I actually should toss on debuffs and like the 0.M circle and stuff like that. Now, one other thing I want to point out is I did start this build off using the Conductor class mod, because the Conductor class mod does apply to the drone. Now, for some reason, the Conductor class mod works the opposite as the nade and shield anointments. The Conductor class mod basically gets the base damage times the mayhem scaling. It does also get like Harmageddon and debuffs and the 0.M circle, but it will not get action skill damage. It will not get V1, V2, it will get the elemental bonuses. The main damage sources in this build, in my opinion, are the action skill damage, the V1, the V2, and the splash. So Conductor does not get any of that, so I ended up just switching back to See and Dead, so we can use Good Misfortune, and I actually think this build is much better this way, and it's because we get to take really big advantage of the 0.M circle, which is another huge part of this build, and we couldn't really take advantage of it in a Calm Cool Collected build, because we want to keep our shields up, we don't want them to deplete. Now, one other thing real quickly is you guys are going to ask me what V1 and V2 are, so I went ahead and listed the bonuses that apply to the drone. V1 is the Victory Rush. This actually applies to the drone, and it's its own multiplier. V2 is the 25% on grenade throw anointment, the 300 over 90 anointment, which is the main anointment we're using, and then the 50% damage below 25% HP, which we're not using, but you actually could in some circumstances, and I actually thought about getting an eruption with this anointment for the Wotan boss fight. But yeah. Now, when it comes to elemental, if you are using bonus elements or if you're using cryo bullets, you can actually apply bonus elemental damage. So like the old god shield or artifact elemental bonus damage, even an elemental projector with URAD. I actually thought about a setup of using URAD elemental projector and drone, and I might actually end up trying that, but yeah, I don't really recommend URAD for mobbing. You just go down way too much. But yeah, so when you're using bonus elements or the cryo bullets, you can apply elemental bonuses. When it comes to splash, you guys already know it is the class mod or artifact splash or AoE, or even the splash anointment. When it comes to debuffs, we have the piss grenade, the eruption, the execute, and there might be one or two more in the game that I'm not thinking about, but yeah, that's pretty much debuffs. And then the final little fun fact is that the drone actually does get cryo efficiency, which is really interesting. Like I said, my first iteration of this build was actually using the cryo bullets, and we were actually using Calm Cool Collected. Now, we still will be using the icebreaker in this build because the drone does get icebreaker, which for some reason I did not write in the V2 section, but icebreaker is considered V2 and we are using an icebreaker. Let's pretty much just hop straight into the build. We can talk about some of the synergies with the gear and some of this different stuff we're using to maximize our drone damage and do some insane things. Now, first off, I want to go over the skill trees. This looks like a bit of a weird skill tree setup. Now, you could have put less points into blue tree to get to double barrel, but I really wanted to focus this showcase on the drone. Now, we are using the drone and the clone, and we're using the 0.M shield. Now, the 0.M shield, if you guys didn't know, I made a video about this, but on shield break, you get a circle around you, which gives you 50% bonus damage, which also applies to action skills. Now, one fun fact about the 0.M shield is your shield does not have to be completely full to trigger the circle. So what that means is we're gonna be using the augment static field, we're gonna be using the augment schadenfreude to give us little incremental bits of shield back, and every single time enemies damage our shield, it will create that circle, so we can basically get the infinite circle around us while just using this build. And that's why we're using the See Undead class mod over Calm Cool Collected. I really did actually, I had a successful Calm Cool Collected build with the conductor class mod that I actually showcased in the video I posted yesterday. That's the gameplay in the background, but this build just puts out more damage. So we're gonna be using the 0.M, we're gonna be using the See Undead, we're gonna be using this skill tree setup. Now, I did wanna use the clone with See Undead and Fractal Frags as well. When we're using the recurring hex grenade, or in this case, the Mervtacular Hex, this grenade actually hits crit spots very consistently, and it will freeze enemies. Any crit will freeze an enemy. It doesn't have to be from your gun, it can literally be from your grenade, and then we get to take advantage of the icebreaker bonus. Now, one other thing I want to point out is my class mod has splash damage and action skill damage, and my artifact has area of effect. We actually have cryo damage on our icebreaker as well, which is pretty good, and that does go towards boosting Trick of the Light, but the cryo damage isn't as important. Just definitely look for those splash bonuses. That is really gonna help Boomsday. Now, Boomsday, we can actually push super far. I did some math where I got this up to 1.3 million, and that's not counting debuffs, and that's not counting the 300/90 anointment. You can push this over 5 million per rocket, and it can actually one-tap some enemies when you're carrying a gun with the 390 anointment. Now, one other thing about this skill tree is you notice, like, I don't take any reload speed, but I did take Violent Violence. I only took Violent Violence so we could shoot our eruption faster if we accidentally fully reload it. And you don't want to reload your eruption because and that's why we're not taking Cool Hand. And that's why I just took Cold Bore. This is just a quality of life skill. I usually swap to different weapons if I don't want to keep this spammed. Now, basically how the eruption works is this is a debuff weapon. So when this weapon is overheating, just like this, if there are enemies nearby, it will shoot you guys will see during the gameplay, it basically shoots like splash at them, but it debuffs them up to, I believe, 200%. Basically what you want to do is you want to overheat this weapon, and then you want to keep it overheated by meleeing, or more importantly, we can actually point our drone. We can use our drone's attack command to keep the eruption constantly debuffing enemies, which is very, very cool. Now, one other thing I want to talk about is the 0.M circle. I want to let you guys know how this works. So the 0.M circle actually drops from the sky. So I'm going to show you guys right now. We have a roof over our head. If we activate our clone, there's no 0.M circle around us, and that's because it's actually on the roof. And we are not taking advantage of that effect. You have to be completely standing in the 0.M circle. You can't even be jumping. And let's go outside real quick, and I will show you guys with no roof over our head. Okay, It came a little bit sideways. Now let's go ahead and step outside. We have a completely clear roof above us. Let's go ahead and activate the 0.M circle, and you can see that we do get it now that there's no roof. So the 0.M drops from above. There is moments like the Valkyrie fight where we are in that area where like we're not getting the 0.M circle because of that. So just keep that in mind, and keep in mind if you ever don't see the circle, it's because you have a roof over your head. Now, one other thing I want to point out is we will be playing on Scaled Takedown. This is really just going to be a showcase of the build, just to show you guys how crazy the drone's damage can be. It's this build I've actually gotten through True Takedown. I will be streaming tomorrow, and I'll probably do some True Takedown runs just to show you guys. But just while we're doing the showcase, and it's going to be easier for me to record, the drone is a single target tool, and putting it on True Takedown just makes so many more enemies, and it just takes a lot longer to get through the takedown. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, pretty much like I said, we had our eruption. I already emptied all of the ammo out of it, so we're just gonna keep it in its overheat mode. Anyways, like I was saying, we're gonna keep the eruption in its overheat mode. We get our 0.M circle, and we just point our drone, and you can see those like little, I don't even know what to call those. Those like splash thingies, they just go out at enemies. Enemies have to be nearby for you to see them. And you guys can see our drone is actually wrecking. Our drone is like seriously just crushing through enemies, which is insane. Just go ahead, keep watching, guys. We're gonna kill the Valkyries. We're gonna kill Wotan. And yeah. Now, when it comes to the playstyle for this build, you just wanna set up a 0.M circle, and then we just literally stand still and just point at enemies. Since I put so many points into lifesteal, we pretty much can't die. Now, I'm gonna relocate up here. And you can pretty much just point your drone forever, and you'll get to keep your eruption in debuff mode forever. And it's pretty insane how much damage we're getting the drone to do. This is just mobbing. I'll probably skip to the Kraken about now, and then I'll show you guys the Valkyries, the bridge, and Wotan. All right, so we've got the Kraken door open. Let's go ahead and take some of this stuff out. Now, I'm actually gonna wait for the Kraken to come down here a little bit, so let me just go point at some of these other enemies for now. Another thing I want you guys to keep in mind is the 300/90 anointment isn't even exactly required on your eruption, mainly because, you know, enemies get under 90% HP pretty easily, but it's just pretty cool to have. If you get like a Boomsday Rocket to trigger while they're above 90% HP, a lot of times you can one-tap trash mobs, and you guys just saw us chew through that Kraken, which is pretty freaking crazy. So we're gonna go take on the Valkyries. I will edit this part out. Alrighty, so down here at the Valkyries, I brought my clone in. We pretty much just want our clone to spam hex grenades. This helps keep up seeing dead and stuff like that. And you guys can see we will make light work of this entire fight. So let's go ahead and kill these enemies very, very quickly. Just gonna go ahead and keep on pointing, which keeps on spamming our eruption. This is a very, very fast Valk kill in my opinion. We are on Scaled Takedown, you know, which isn't as strong as True Takedown, but I have already done this on True Takedown. It just takes a lot longer because there's a lot more mobs, and at the end of the day, the drone doesn't have like any chains or like any mobbing, or like any mobbing weapons. It's a single target weapon, you know, so it just takes a lot longer to do this raid on True Takedown mode. Let's go ahead and finish these guys off in like half a freaking second. And Rhoda's gonna spawn. Where's Rhoda? Okay, she's coming down. There she is. The 300/90 anointment does really help us like get through their shields at first, but dude, look at that clear speed. Look how quickly we took out a freaking Valkyrie's HP. Like, that's just insane to me. Let's get our clone back up here. So yeah, just take out some war dogs, you know, like it's nothing. You do notice that once the drone gets through the war dog shield, with that Trick of the Light applying, no matter what, it really does a lot of damage, and it's kind of crazy. Literally just took out Valkyries with nothing but a drone. I mean, our clone is helping too. He's spamming grenades. You know, he's keeping up our action skills and stuff like that. Just find it really crazy that we can actually do this much damage with Zane's drone, which I was not expecting before. Alrighty, so we are coming up at the bridge. You guys will notice, like I said, see that ceiling above? So we're actually gonna stop right here so that we can get our 0.M circle. We're actually just literally gonna stand here and just point at everything. We're gonna go into like fight for your life a couple times just because how much damage, you know, the Maliwan Takedown throws at you. But we're gonna absolutely shred this bridge. Just watch. Just watch. I am like seriously surprised by how much damage we get the drone to do. And right now, a lot of stuff actually isn't shooting us, surprisingly. You will notice every time my shield breaks, our 0.M goes down, and we pretty much get it right back with the Schadenfreude augment and the static field augment. And then every time our shield breaks, it just does it all over again, which is very, very cool. Now, you do want your clone up. Your clone will heal you with salvation, and your clone also has old U, so your clone does add a lot of survivability. But pretty much our drone's just going to kill everything anyway, that it kind of doesn't matter. We just go in and out of fight for your life so much because of how much damage enemies do on M10 right now. But you can just see how everything is completely exploding all around us. You know, sometimes we're going to get through their shields and it takes a second. Also, keep in mind that the eruption projectiles are actually splash damage. So if enemies get too close to you, the eruption splash damage itself can actually kill you, which is kind of weird. You guys want to hear another fun little fact? If the drone actually touches an enemy, it counts as melee, and it can trigger Groundbreaker. I actually got a Wotan kill earlier, where the drone touched Wotan, triggered Groundbreaker, and it almost one-tapped the split phase. Maybe we can get that to happen again. All right, so this is a very cool setup. You guys just saw how fast we honestly melted through the Maliwan Takedown, which still blows my mind that we're able to do this. And we're actually going to melt through Wotan. So we got a bunch of damage right there because we do have the 300/90 anointment. But right after this phase, he's like below 90% health now. So that anointment's not going to be active really anymore. Now, our shield is getting depleted over and over and over again from the enemies around us. So our 0.M circle is active. Like pretty much at all times. I think it's active below me, yeah. So we're just going to keep pointing. We're just going to stand and shoot. Or we're going to stand and point. And here he is. We already got him through that phase. Guys, this is an unedited Wotan kill. Like, this is real time, and it's insane to me. We're going to melt through these shields. They do nothing. Look at that. Let's try to take out the top head as quick as possible. Oh. Drone, go get him. Look at our drone. Look how much damage it's doing. Top half is almost dead. Top half is almost dead. Let's crawl over there. We got to keep that debuff applied, so let's crawl towards him. Dude, look at that. Absolutely nuts, dude. Like I said, this is scaled takedown right now, but still, absolutely nuts. Like, this is some of the craziest... I mean, this is the craziest thing I've ever done with Zane's drone. Hands down, not even close. Hopefully the drone will touch him. Will trigger Groundbreaker, like I said. Just, dude, look at his armor bar melting. Melting. That is a Wotan kill. Oh my goodness. Ridiculous, guys. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this one, don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 videos. We are almost at 30K subscribers, so help me out. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. You guys know we love having fun in this game. And yeah, we're going to cut it right there. See you guys in the next one. I'm out.